3 husbands are at a grave. Almost all of your family inhabit theirs as well. You're alone with your son, who's the last link to the Lancastrians' right to the English throne. And baby, it's the Middle Ages. It's medieval. All right, here we go again. Back into the Dark Ages. I don't know what it is about this time, but I love mysteries that are written in particularly English Middle Ages, all around the intrigue and everything going on. And at this time, we are in the middle of the War of the Roses, and we've got our Yorkist king, Edward IV, sitting on the crown after a, questionable death of Henry Henry the Sixth? Yeah. Questionable murder, can we just say? All right, so we are with Margaret Beaufort, and this was the wife of Henry the Sixth, and ultimately she's the grandmother of Henry the Eighth, and she is the mother of Henry the Seventh. Very original names. Yeah, anyway, so this is a very tumultuous time, and it is very dark, it is very scary, and there is all kinds of people trying to make sure that that Lancastrian line does not make it back to the crown. Now, ultimately, what I'm talking about is The Dark Queen Watching. This is a third in the Margaret Beaufort series, written by Paul Doherty. It is due for publication on December 7th, 2021. Have I read anything else in the series? No. Did I know it was a part of a series? No. Did it matter? No. It was a great standalone book. I mean, other than you just need to catch up and know who Margaret Beaufort was and what year it is, but you would do that with any historical fiction that you read and have to get caught up with what was going on at the time. But no, we didn't really reference anything before, and we didn't reference anything after. And it sums up, it's a complete mystery that is summed up. Mainly, we're trying to figure out what's going on and who is attacking, so to speak, from many different fronts, Margaret Beaufort. Now, you would think she's the main character, and I would say it revolves around her, of course, but we spend a lot more time with her henchmen. Okay, I paused just because the word henchman I'm a little bit tired of. Got to come up with some other ones. Everybody had a henchman, and it was, particularly in part 1, was just referred to again and again, so a little tired of henchmen. But anyways, this is who they are. It's a lot of historical figures that we're dealing with, and character development isn't necessarily something that you get. You're getting a mystery. You're wondering who's attacking, and they are some bizarre attacks, and especially because the opening scene in this book, so you have these assassins coming from Spain, and they are ruthless. I mean, they have no care for anybody other than their own. They're military-esque, and they have been hired by someone to really encourage Margaret Beaufort to get the heck out of England. And, so just know, I mean, come on. If you read these books at all, you know it's going to be gruesome. There's going to be moments of just how they treat other human beings that is just horrible. And I think that's what really adds to the atmosphere. You're introduced to this group of assassins so early, and it's so frightening, really, to see how and what they're willing to do to push their cause, which their cause is whatever they're being paid to do at the time. And that lack of any morals or any, moral guide whatsoever makes them really frightening, and they are horrendous. And that is what you're opening up with. And from then on, you just keep moving. Now, this is a pretty fast pace and does deserve to be focused on and read. It reads pretty easily. It is done very well. Bodies start dropping left, right, and center. And you were just like, who's doing this and why? Characters are introduced pretty well at a very good clip and not hard to follow. The Burnable book that I mentioned before and did a review on last month in October, that had a lot of characters, and keeping up with them was a bit of a challenge. This is not so much. It's really focused on Margaret, around her and her households, and you really kind of keep it focused in there. So from that standpoint, I thought it was great. You are going through nasty alleyways. You can almost smell the stench, you know, all of that. Just gross. Sorry, my computer just dinged. All right, I'm back. Overall, from the story itself, because of that constant flip-flop and being the Dark Ages, it becomes a character within the book. You follow along with one of her henchmen, largely. His name is Christopher, and I'm going to say Erzwick or Erzwicki. I'm not sure if they pronounce the E on the end. He was an actual historical figure. He was a priest and confessor of Margaret's, but in this book we really get him more as her right-hand man. He was a clerk, and he has dubious ties to some other not so nice people, and you see his story and dilemma, and while he's trying to figure out what's going on and why are these attacks happening and why are these people dropping dead left, right, and center, all in and around Beaufort. Ultimately, it's Christopher who leads us through the whole investigation, and then he ultimately is the one who kind of sums it all up for us to understand how they connect. And that is done in the final part, part 6 of the book. And so I thought it was a really good roller coaster ride. I totally suggest you be able to read it pretty quickly. I enjoyed the pacing that I read it in. But again, you've got to like these kind of books. So I give it 4 stars. It's not one that I'm going to reread. It's one that I'm going to be very cautious of who I recommend it to. Again, if you're into these kind of books, I think it's great. You do not have to read the first one. If you want to jump right into The Dark Queen Watching, you can do that. I have already come to find out, when I went to go put this on Goodreads, I was like, oh, I have the first one in this series. I actually ordered it about 6 months ago. It's sitting in storage. Obviously something caught my eye about it. Somehow it came up as a recommendation for myself. And so I will be reading the first one, so I'll continue on with the series. I just don't know when, because it's locked up in storage, which is sad. But great book. Again, if you've been reading the other ones, I think it's going to be another one in the series you can enjoy. And I am off to find out more about Margaret Beaufort. Fascinating sounding woman of her time, and in the middle of all of that, so I'm hoping to find out more about her. That's the best sign of good historical fiction. It's the reason why I read it. It always makes me want to go and find out more, and this book has done that, well, giving me a really good mystery along the way. So I do highly recommend the book. Hope you've enjoyed the review, and as I always say, keep turning those pages. Bye for now.